Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney, and I'm so happy that you're here. This podcast is a place for conversations about balancing a healthy lifestyle and being happy. More specifically, happy hour. Together, we'll explore all things wellness and wine. I hope you learn a little, laugh a lot, and along the way, know you're not alone on this balanced wellness journey. Ready to jump in? Pour something in your glass that makes you happy because it's time for Spandex and Wine. Hello and welcome to the Spandex and Wine podcast. I'm your host, Robin Hackney. Do you have a hard time knowing what to eat and when? Or maybe you've been on a restricted diet for a while and you want to get back to balanced eating, but you're not sure how to reintroduce those items back into your meal planning. Today's guest, Katie Hoover, can help with that, plus so much more. She's a registered dietitian helping a variety of clients become healthier. Her passion started at a young age, as you'll hear in today's episode. She's such an amazing and kind person, and I think you'll really enjoy hearing from her. She's also a Zyia rep, and she'll share all about those products as well. So grab a coffee, iced tea, or something stronger, no judgment, and here we go. Hey, Katie, thanks so much for being on the Spandex and Wine podcast. It's great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yes. Well, we know each other from Traveling Vineyard, but in addition to Traveling Vineyard, you see clients, you're a dietitian, and I want to hear all about how you got started with that.
Yeah, sure. So growing up, I grew up in the 90s when, everything was low fat. There was like the fat-free, low-fat craze everywhere.
Yep.
And my dad had high cholesterol. So my mom taught me how to read a food label. We'd go to the grocery store and she'd be like, oh, go find this, it has to have so many grams of fat or so many grams of fiber. So like I learned how to read a food label and started that like around age 10 and just, was really interested in nutrition and food from that point. And then got closer, high school and had to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. So I was like, well, I like food labels. I like nutrition. Let's see what I can do. And figured I wanted to be a dietitian. So then I went to school. I went to Bowling Green State University in Ohio and, majored in dietetics. So it's like a 4-year program. So you have a bachelor's degree in dietetics. And then you do a year-long internship afterwards, like at a hospital, usually at a hospital setting. So that's what I did. And then, just have always enjoyed it. Has never regretted that decision. I know
That's
a lot of people
cool.
change their minds as they get older, but that was something that I always wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, and I love that you found that at such a young age too, and that your mom was that influence. I guess your dad as well.
Mhm.
So was that your mom's background, or she just was into it because she was helping your dad out?
Yeah, no, she was a teacher. So she just
Okay.
was, it was kind of like a necessity. We had to, we live in a rural area. So like bacon and eggs every day and butter on
Mhm.
everything. So it was like a huge change for my dad to go to, okay, let's try low fat or let's try oat bran. And, so that was just
Yeah.
why we had to do it for him. Yeah.
Yeah. No, again, I think that's so cool. I'm wondering too, at the age 10, how old is your daughter right now? Because I know you have a daughter that swims competitively. She plays softball. She does all kinds of things. So
Yeah.
how old is she right now?
She's 10 also.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what
Yeah.
I was wondering was, there's kind of a fine line too. I didn't have girls. I had 2 boys. So finding that balance of making sure that they have that healthy body image. So it's cool that your mom was able to find that boundary with you to teach you how to do that, but you weren't obsessed with it.
Right. And I always thought about that too, because a lot of my background as a dietitian has been working with people who have eating disorders. And I always thought, man, I could have gone the other way too, right? I could have
Yeah.
totally gone the opposite end of the spectrum, but I didn't. I think because, I had a mom who explained it to me well. And, I was in sports, I was a swimmer. So, I knew I needed food to sustain my body and, you know, trying to teach my daughter the same thing. It's very challenging. I think it's more challenging now than when I was a kid because there's social media and there's all these
Yeah.
things that weren't there when I was a kid. But she understands, like, she's, it's been instilled in her at a very young age that your body needs protein, your body needs carbs, especially since she's an athlete, and softball in this hot weather, it's a lot, you gotta rehydrate. So she knows about electrolytes. She knows what protein does. It's nice that she already understands all that at age 10.
Yes. Ah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. And so tell me about then your business because you still see clients and it's just on like you just work for yourself now, right?
So I have a private practice called Hoover Nutrition LLC that I started probably like right after 2 years after I became a dietitian. So it's definitely been, I think it's been 15 years since I started my private practice. Um, so
Awesome.
I, so
Congrats.
I've used it in lots of different areas, mainly in private, like one-on-one sessions with people. Back before COVID, I saw people in person
Yeah.
in office settings, I collaborated with different like eating disorder centers and doctors' offices to get referrals that way. I've also worked like at community colleges and I've gotten referrals to see people that way. Also, just like presentations, companies that want a dietitian to come out and talk to them about healthy eating. So, like, think like factories and office buildings, wellness fairs, things like that. I've done lots of those, which I enjoy. I enjoy like
Mhm.
going out in the community and doing talks and health fairs. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. So who fits your demographics? Like what is your ideal customer or client rather?
Mhm. So I mean, I'm pretty heavily into eating disorders. I would say that's kind of what I've been doing for the past like 20 years, a lot of eating disorders. So that can be, pretty severe, anorexia, bulimia, combination of both. Or it can be, not so severe, like people who just notice like maybe they're having some disordered eating patterns, like they went on keto and then they couldn't stop and they want to incorporate carbs back in and they don't know how to do it or just, people who have, used that negative body image thoughts and that's kind of spiraling into an eating disorder and they need help kind of figuring out how to get out of it or they don't want to have a full-blown eating disorder. So I feel like that's, so it's a lot of women as my demographic, but I've also worked with a lot of men. I feel like it's something that happens to men too, for
Yeah.
sure. And all different ages. I think the youngest client I ever had was 9, and the oldest was like in her 60s. So I feel like
Wow.
it's a very large group of people.
Hmm.
Um, but I will see people for other things too, not just eating disorders, people who just want to be healthier. Um, as I've become a mom and gotten into like more family nutrition, I feel like that comes up more often now where I have a lot of moms who, you know, they don't know how to cook healthy for their families because they have sports and they have to run, they have to work all day and then run to sports and they don't have time to
Yeah.
cook. So I like working with that demographic too because I have similar experiences. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find time to do all that and still eat healthy and not go to the drive-through every time, your kid has a practice or a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely easy to do. So to plan ahead is so key. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I'm sure you
Yeah.
teach all of your clients that too. You had
Yes.
mentioned earlier that the 90s with the no fat, low fat, and then we had the whole no carbs and the Atkins. And speak to some of that because I still feel like people are, I have friends and I have clients that are like, okay, I will not eat anything that has fat in it, or, they go for the low fat. And I'm like, well, that may not be helping you out exactly. Um,
Right.
so speak just a little bit to the importance of a balanced diet, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. So I think, the easiest way I like to caution people is if something says fat free or sugar free, it's probably not the best product to choose because usually if something's labeled fat free, it's high in sugar, and usually if something's labeled sugar free, it's high in fat. So it kind of defeats the purpose of choosing that product. I feel like middle of the line's better. So if you do reduced fat, low fat, or reduced sugar, low sugar, those products tend to be a little bit more balanced. Not always, but you got to do your research and figure it out. But I always tell people to, a balanced diet means that you are not restricting any of the food groups. So if you think way back to the food guide pyramid, and now we have a plate, my plate, that teaches us balance. All foods fit. We don't want to eliminate any single food group, right? We need carbs, we need protein, we need fat. It's just
Mhm.
choosing them in the right amounts and the right choices that are healthy for you and going to like actually fuel your body. I think
Yeah.
I get really frustrated when I hear people say, "Oh my gosh, bananas are so bad for you." I'm like, it's a banana. Like a banana
Right.
is not bad for you, but that's what people hear and that's what people believe, and
Yeah.
they don't eat bananas. But then they go get bacon and eggs somewhere because they feel like that's a healthier choice than a banana. So I think you have to,
Yes.
I think balance and all foods fit in moderation is a better way to teach nutrition, and it's sustainable, right? So I'm not telling you don't eat this, don't eat that. I'm telling you eat everything, but do it in the right quantities and, make healthy choices.
Yes. I 100% agree. I feel like any diet that restricts an entire food group is not a good idea because then you're just going to want that. That's what you're going to crave.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Uh, well, I had a client, shifting gears just a little bit. I had a client recently say to me, okay, so you've done all your fitness classes, you're a personal trainer, you have this podcast, Spandex and Wine. What's next? A clothing line? And I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. But I don't need to do a clothing line because I have you because you are a Zyia rep. Tell us a little bit about Zyia and what makes their clothing so phenomenal.
So Zyia is a boutique style clothing company that sells athletic wear and athleisure wear. So, clothes you can work out in, clothes you can lounge in. It's
Yes.
been around for a while, I think over 10 years. So it's not new, but I think a lot of people still have not heard of the company. I'm still meeting people every day that have never heard of Zyia.
Hmm.
It's boutique style, so clothes are produced in limited quantities, right? They're not mass produced, so it's not the same as like going to Target or going to Old Navy or, Fabletics, places like that where they're producing a mass amount of clothing. These are, you know, small batches, so each piece is unique. So I kind of like that too. I think that makes it better quality. We have, extra guarantees for our clothing. You have up to 45 days to exchange or return something. So that's nice too, because a lot of times, you might get something and you get busy and you forget and you're like, oh, I really wanted to exchange this for a different size, or I wanted to try, shorts instead of pants. 45 days is a long time to have
It
to
is. Yeah.
be like, hey, let's exchange this for something new. And I just new releases every week. So every single Wednesday we have new releases, which I get so excited about because it's brand new, like new products. So it's not the same stuff over and over again. It's always something new, not only new like items, but new colors, new designs, lots of new things always coming out.
Yeah, and I know there's a lot of things that go really fast when they go on. I know I posted a picture in my Zyia little well, your bras also double most of them as a swimsuit. So I got lots of compliments on that. And I had no idea that there can be such a difference in leggings and how they look on you. It's amazing how good Zyia looks on people.
Yes. Yes. And that's also kind of our claim to fame. We call them our magic pants or our light and tight leggings because they are like magic. They really like suck you in and lift you in all the areas that you want to be lifted in. They also don't move when you're working out. So I know I'm always get frustrated if I'm exercising and my leggings, like the top band folds over or, they
Hmm.
kind of sag a little bit. Like that's very frustrating. So the light and tights stay in place. They don't move. They're going to stay put and not move. And beyond like exercising, they're just comfortable. A lot of people just like to wear them out,
Hmm.
out if you're going out, like out to dinner or out on the town or to work. I had one customer tell me that she actually is a twin mama. Also, I have twins too, and she had twins, and they like really wrecked her back. She had lots of back issues, and her twins are like, I think she said 13 or 14 now, but she's had back issues for the last 13 years. And she put the light and tight leggings on, and her back pain went away. And she just thought that was amazing that it helped her feel better and not have her back problems anymore. So she
Wow,
was,
that is so cool. I
yeah.
didn't even think about that, but you're right. Like having that tight band. And when you
Mhm.
said they're like magic, it's true because you said that they pull everything in. And in your mind, you would think when you pull that on, then all the extra fluff would hang over, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. That's why it's
I
magic.
don't know where it goes.
I don't know where it goes either, but it's definitely magic and all different colors. I think black, is our most popular color, but you can get patterns, you can get colors, you can get with pockets, without pockets. So I think they're great magic
Yeah.
pants. Everybody needs a pair.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Once you try them, you will not want to wear anything else. And we do have a link open for the podcast, and I'll make sure that I share that in the show notes. So I also want you to tell the listeners how they can find you if they were interested in your services as a dietitian.
It's a good question.
What's the best way to reach you, Katie?
I so you can find me on Facebook. So Katie Hoover on Facebook. Or I could give my email address, or I can post it in the comments under the podcast. Could I do
Yeah,
that?
I can put it in the show notes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put it in there for people if you want to email me. More than happy
Cool.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, besides one-on-one, do you do any courses or classes, any online or?
No, not right now. No,
Okay.
no courses or classes. I have like in the past, just like at the community colleges and stuff, but not anything online.
Yeah. Well, I
Maybe
know
when my
you're
kids
super
get older.
busy. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe when I have more time.
Yes. Because
But
how
right
old are
now,
your twins?
they're 10. So my twins are 10.
Oh, okay. Okay. So your
Yeah.
daughter, the one that swims, I just saw a post right
Yeah.
before I came on. So that's why I keep on referring to
Yeah.
her. Okay.
That's
Got it.
okay. I have a boy and a girl. So I have a boy girl twins. So they're 10.
Nice.
Yeah. So they keep me very busy, and I'm happy working part-time while they're little so that I can still get them to all their things and be a mom. And, I enjoy being a mom. So when they get older and don't need me so much anymore, then maybe I'll work more. But right now, part-time is perfect for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'll put all that information in the show notes. Is there
Mhm.
anything else that you would like to share?
Just for Zyia, one more thing. So this month, the month of July, we still have what, 8 more days? No, something
Yeah,
like
when
that.
this comes out, it'll be on Friday. So we'll still have a few more days in July. Yes.
Okay. So the month of July, if you're a new customer, you've never ordered Zyia before, there's a really great promotion going on this month. When you spend $50, it can be on anything, including a gift card. If you just purchase a $50 gift card or spend $50 on any items, including sale items, you will automatically get 2 free items. So that's a pretty great deal. So the way it works is you just would create an account under my Zyia link, which we'll post that in the notes too. You create an account under Zyia, and then you shop for your items or the gift card. And then within 24 hours, you get an email sent to you that says your account has been verified, and then you can select your free items. And these free items are not cheap items. They have $89 joggers as an item. So you're getting a pair
Nice.
of $89 joggers for free. There's also the light and tight leggings that we were talking about. Those are a free item option. Bras, shorts, long sleeves, jackets, leggings, even some men's items too. So, you could get your man something if
Yeah.
you like. So I feel like that's a awesome promotion. We've never had this before with spend just $50 and then you get 2 more free items. So it's probably like
Wow.
with the free items, probably $150, total, but you're getting it for free. So it's a great, great deal.
No, that's super cool. That is a wonderful deal. That's awesome. And I'm glad that you said the gift card because there were a group of us, and I won't say the name of the company, that we were monthly customers, and so they would withdraw the money out of our account for credits, and you could spend it. But you can do the same thing with you. You can set up to buy a $50 gift card every month, so then you have that in your budget, and when you're ready to spend all your gift cards, you can spend all your gift cards.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Yeah.
have a long time to use those gift cards. It's not like they expire, within a month. You have a long time to use them. So I feel like that's nice too. If you can't make a decision, just do the gift card, and that way you can order later when you decide whatever
Yeah.
items you want to purchase. So
Yeah, no, I like that idea. Wonderful.
mhm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Katie, thanks again for being here. It was great to see your smiling face.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. A big thanks to Katie for sharing her story and time with us. I've included all of her links in the show notes, so please check them out if you're in need of her services. And what a great deal for new clients being introduced to Zyia as well. Spend $50 and get 2 free items. You guys, I can tell you they make phenomenal clothing. Most of the time, I'm just happy that my pants aren't on backwards, but even Zyia can make you look good then too. No, seriously, I once did an entire photo shoot with my red Zyia pants on backwards. So if you've seen those pictures on my Facebook page, go ahead and get a little chuckle. There's a special link in the show notes for shopping Zyia, and I'll also include it on the website spandexandwine.com. As always, feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying this podcast, be sure to follow Spandex and Wine so you don't miss an episode. To do this, just go to the podcast and click subscribe or follow wherever you are listening. Look for the plus sign or follow button. This is one of the best things that you can do for the podcast. If you'd also be willing to give a 5-star review, that would be amazing and much appreciated. Lastly, please share an episode with a friend or 5 to keep the love going, and join the Spandex and Wine community in our private Facebook group by searching Spandex and Wine. Feel free to reach out to me at any time by emailing info@spandexandwine.com or text me at 913-392-2877. I appreciate you. Thank you.